They lied to you again. They said it was just geological noise, tectonic plates shifting, maybe a deep-sea vent. But you know when something's being covered up, don't you? Because this sound, it wasn't natural, and it wasn't human. In 1997, the NOAA recorded a deep, thunderous noise powerful enough to cross the entire ocean. They called it the Bloop. To this day, no known creature could have produced it. But here's the strange part. The sound came from a place where nothing should be alive. And just like any good conspiracy, they scrambled to explain it. Oh, probably just ice cracking. But why did the sound repeat? Why did it vanish after military ships were dispatched? And why, years later, did similar sounds resurface in the same areas where UFOs have been seen rising from the ocean? That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. And whenever a pattern shows up, someone tries to erase it. But now, the truth is rising, and you're about to find out why this sound, one no one can explain, might be the sign of something about to awaken. Have you ever wondered why ancient structures exist that defy everything we were taught in school? Massive stone blocks, so heavy modern cranes would struggle to lift them, yet somehow they're stacked with laser-like precision. It's as if some alien intelligence left a calling card here on Earth, and science pretends it didn't see a thing. Because admitting that would mean rewriting every textbook we've ever trusted. Now imagine this. Civilizations separated by oceans, building near-identical monuments aligned with stars they weren't even supposed to know about. Too many coincidences, right? The ancients spoke of gods descending in fiery chariots. But what if those gods weren't mythical? What if they were UFOs? Suddenly the stories make more sense. Suddenly it all aligns with a much older, much stranger truth. And here's the thing, it's everywhere. In ancient manuscripts, cave art, forbidden artifacts, all pointing in the same direction. But for some reason, that direction is always labeled conspiracy or myth. Why? Who benefits from the silence? Maybe the biggest lie in history isn't about power or politics. Maybe it's about who or what came before us and never really left. It's not just the past screaming at us. The present is flashing warnings too. You've seen them, right? Lights in the sky making impossible turns, vanishing in the blink of an eye. These aren't drones or planes. They're real encounters reported by trained pilots who know exactly what they're looking at and know this breaks every rule of physics. And strangest of all, these sightings often spike right before major archaeological finds. Behind every UFO encounter is a silent operation. Satellites get repositioned. Data disappears. Witnesses go quiet. This isn't science fiction. It's documented. It's as if someone or something is watching us dig, watching us unlock pieces of a history they never wanted us to uncover. And when we get too close, systems fail, people vanish, accidents happen. But what if these crafts aren't just visiting? What if they've always been here, hiding where no one looks? Beneath the waves, beneath the ice, inside caves no human has dared to enter. These aren't empty places. They might be nests, or worse, control centers. And the more we uncover, the more their interest seems to grow. Now picture this. What if Earth isn't the main story? Just another experiment in a vast galactic lab? Think about déjà vu. That eerie feeling of being watched. Maybe it's not paranoia. Maybe it's programming. Thousands of people have reported abductions by aliens, sterile rooms, bright lights, tall beings with dark emotionless eyes. Are they all delusional, or are they remembering something the world has tried to erase? What's creepy is how these stories match. Cultures that have never met describe the same disc-shaped crafts, the same telepathic voices, the same chilling sense of powerlessness. Children, elders, skeptics, all telling the same tale. That's not mass hysteria, that's evidence. Evidence that something or someone is tampering with us in ways we don't yet understand. And the scariest part? The more we dismiss these encounters, the more exposed we become. What if these alien beings are waiting, watching for a signal, a mistake, or maybe an opening? Because something's out there, and every forgotten story might be another clue to what's coming. In ancient ruins across the world, explorers have unearthed objects that shouldn't exist. Metallic gears next to 10,000-year-old fossils, maps showing lands supposedly undiscovered. Some of these objects are so advanced, modern scientists can't even replicate them. These aren't just historical errors, they're evidence. Evidence of alien intervention in our ancient timeline. And when these discoveries happen, they vanish, quietly. They're called O-parts, out-of-place artifacts. Like the Baghdad Battery or the Piri Reis map, they don't belong in our version of history, but they're real. Researchers outside the mainstream see the pattern, and the pattern points toward an intelligence not from here, not human, not native, maybe even alien in every sense of the word. What if these items were left behind on purpose? Breadcrumbs in the timeline, meant to be found by those willing to look deeper. Maybe the UFOs we see today are just the latest iteration of the same visitors who built pyramids, seeded technology, and left us wondering. But if the next clue isn't in the sky, maybe it's hidden underwater. Ancient texts across civilizations mention beings of light descending from the sky, teaching humans and then vanishing. They weren't described as gods, but as guides, mentors, alien Yigons in form and wisdom. The Mayans, Egyptians, Sumerians all tell eerily similar stories. And the strangest part, they claim this knowledge didn't come from men, but from the stars. Suddenly, these ancient jumps in science and culture don't seem so random. Think about it, advanced calendars, astronomical alignments, surgical tools, all appearing way ahead of their time. These people weren't guessing, they were taught. Maybe those glowing ships carved into temple walls weren't symbols, but records of visits, of contact with aliens. So maybe these angels from holy texts weren't divine at all, but interstellar, and maybe their mission was to push us forward. But then they left, or so it seemed. Because with every modern discovery that unearths these truths, the silence gets louder, as if something or someone doesn't want us to remember who really showed us the way. The ocean is the perfect hiding place. Think about it. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about our own seafloor. If aliens wanted to hide, they wouldn't go to the stars. They'd go beneath the waves. Sonar scans have captured objects moving at impossible speeds underwater. Fishermen have reported glowing crafts diving into the sea, then vanishing. Coincidence? Hardly. These aren't isolated incidents. From the Bermuda Triangle to the Mariana Trench, people have seen and heard things that defy explanation. UFOs that transform into USOs, unidentified submerged objects. Technology that moves effortlessly through pressure zones that would crush any human-made sub. And guess who usually shows up after the sightings? Military ships. Every time. So maybe the bottom of the ocean isn't just full of marine life. Maybe it's full of bases, maybe of gateways, maybe of watchers. Alien agonists that never left, just submerged. And if they're already down there, what are they waiting for? What are they guarding? In 1997, a mysterious underwater sound was recorded across the Pacific, so loud it was picked up by sensors thousands of kilometers apart. Scientists named it the Bloop, but it didn't match any known whale, earthquake, or tectonic shift. And the location? Deep in a place where nothing should be alive. It was so strange that, eventually, they stopped talking about it. Later, similar frequencies were detected again, always near zones linked to UFO sightings or magnetic anomalies. Researchers tried to write it off as ice breaking. But here's the kicker. The frequency carried an intelligent rhythm, like a beacon, like a signal. And when military ships moved into those areas, the sound stopped. What if these aren't just oceanic oddities? What if these are alien transmissions, signals from deep beneath, reaching out or waking up? If something under the ocean is alive, ancient, and watching, then the bloop might have been its first whisper. Some of the most powerful evidence of alien interference? It's inside us. Human DNA contains segments that scientists still call junk, code with no clear purpose. But what if that's not junk, but a message? Something implanted, something waiting. Maybe we weren't just evolving, maybe we were engineered. Think about it. Of all species on Earth, only humans developed abstract thinking, deep language, and advanced civilization. That leap doesn't look natural, it looks triggered. Some researchers even suggest we're carrying dormant code, waiting to be switched on. And what's even crazier, encounters with UFOs have been linked to strange changes in behavior, memory, even perception. Could it be that we're more than just biological machines? That we're vessels, containers of a truth forgotten long ago? The more people awaken to this possibility, the more the puzzle begins to solve itself. And what that unlocks might change everything we know about ourselves. Knowledge has been erased before. The burning of the Library of Alexandria wasn't just a tragedy, it was a reset. Priceless scrolls detailing star maps, ancient technologies, and possibly even alien encounters. Gone, conveniently, and today, it's not much different. Every time a strange artifact surfaces, it's quickly classified and removed by experts. Then, nothing. No photos, no reports, just silence. Who decides what's safe for us to know? Who owns history? Museums show us the approved version, while the real pieces, the dangerous truths, are locked away. Secret vaults, private collections, hidden labs, and all while the world is distracted by the next shiny thing. But the puzzle pieces still surface for those paying attention. And when they do, the reaction is always the same: suppression, discredit, disappear. Because the more we know, the less control they have. The real question isn't if aliens visited us, it's why certain people are still trying so hard to keep that knowledge buried. Entire civilizations have vanished, not fallen, not defeated, vanished. The Mayans, for instance, built monumental cities, mastered math and astronomy, then disappeared without a trace. No mass graves, no invasions, just silence. What if they didn't collapse? What if they were taken by aliens for reasons we don't yet understand? Ancient records speak of pillars of light, fire chariots, voices from the sky. These weren't poetic metaphors. They were logs, descriptions of departure. If beings from the stars once walked among us, why wouldn't they return for the ones they seeded, the ones they chose? What if those civilizations never died, but were relocated, moved to another place, another plane? Maybe those crafts in the sky today are returning scouts, watching to see if we're ready. Ready for what? That remains the biggest question of all. There's a place on Earth that's colder than death, more secret than Area 51, and permanently off limits to nearly everyone. Antarctica. Covered in ice, it hides something. Satellite photos have shown massive structures buried deep, some circular, others angular, but all too perfect to be natural. And when researchers get too close, equipment fails, access is denied, or worse, they vanish. Some whistleblowers claim there's an alien base under the ice, a mothership frozen in time, protected by governments worldwide. Every now and then, as glaciers melt, parts of these structures reveal themselves. But before the public can see too much, they're covered up, literally, snowed over by military ops. The wildest part? Sensors have recorded energy bursts from below. Steady pulses, not caused by nature. Something still working, still sending, still alive. Antarctica may not just be the end of the world. It might be where something is waiting to begin again. There are sounds we can't hear, but that affect us deeply. Low-frequency waves that trigger anxiety, confusion, even hallucinations. Governments have tested these frequencies as weapons. But what if these aren't human inventions? What if the technology behind them is alien-yijinga? Soldiers near classified UFO crash sites have reported strange sensations. Time distortion, telepathic whispers, intense fear, and it always happens in the presence of unknown energy fields. What if our minds are being tested, tuned, conditioned to receive something otherworldly? Maybe the real invasion won't come with lasers or fleets. Maybe it's already here, slipping through frequencies, rewriting thoughts, influencing emotions. Because sometimes the best control is the one you never even notice. What if the real revelation isn't up in the sky, but buried inside us? Many people who've encountered aliens or UFOs report something far deeper than lights and ships. They describe awakenings, visions, changes in perception, as if something inside them switched on. Ancient cultures call this the cosmic memory, the idea that we were once part of something far greater. Maybe the UFO phenomenon isn't just about ships. Maybe it's about activation, a slow process to reconnect us with something lost. What if we've been asleep for millennia, and contact is the alarm clock? And that might be the real threat. Not the alienígenas themselves, but the truth they unlock. Because once enough people remember who they really are, no government, no lie, no system will ever hold them again. Have you noticed how many movies, shows, and cartoons involve aliens, abductions, UFOs? It's not just creative writing, it's conditioning. A slow drip of impossible ideas until the public accepts them as normal. They call it predictive programming. And it's not fiction, it's strategy. Directors like Spielberg were briefed by the government before releasing Close Encounters. Why? To steer the narrative, to introduce the idea of extraterrestrials gently, to make sure that when the truth emerges, society won't collapse. That's not storytelling, that's social engineering. And here's the trap. When you report a real sighting today, people laugh. You watch too many movies. Exactly as planned, because if truth is treated as fiction, they never have to explain anything. In 1980, something happened in Rendlesham Forest, England. Something that shook trained military men to their core. Strange lights, a metallic craft, and telepathic messages in binary code. One officer claims the craft sent him coordinates and warnings through his mind, and when decoded, the message talked about preservation, surveillance, humanity. This wasn't a drunk guy in a field. This was a top-tier military base. And since then, similar events have occurred near nuclear sites, with UFOs disabling warheads, hovering above silos, and watching. These aliens aren't just here for sightseeing. They're here with a mission. What if these are not threats, but alarms? Signs that we're being monitored because we're on the edge of something catastrophic. Maybe the real warning isn't they're coming. Maybe it's they never left. So tell me, after all this, do you still think we're alone? Or are we just isolated from a truth too big to control? Because it's everywhere. In our ruins, our oceans, our DNA, and the quiet gaps between the stars. The question isn't if aliens exist, it's why they're still being hidden from you. How many signs have you missed? How many coincidences have you laughed off? Maybe it's time to rethink everything. What if nothing is what we were taught? What if your origin, your purpose, and your freedom are tied to a truth that's been buried for millennia? If this content shook you, woke something in you, or left you questioning what's real, then you're exactly where you need to be. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and get ready to uncover what they never wanted you to know, because the truth is already waking up.